Monster Jam. The best of Volume 2.
I bet you $20 you never seen 50 monster trucks in one place. U.S. Truck Fest presented by Chevy Truck Charlotte Motor Speedway. This place is going off. Come on, we got a job to do. It's inside Monster Jam. I'm Jerry Bernardo, and that's the Thrasher. Also, the up-and-comers, they're going for a purse of $5,500. Look at the crowd behind me. It's super huge. Hey, we're missing it all. Look at all these trucks. Come on. $5,500. You're an up-and-comer. You want to race? Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Jerry makes it look so easy, but even the pro has a rough day.
It's the United States Truck Fest presented by Chevy Trucks right here. This place is huge. It's the United States Truck Fest presented by Chevy Truck. What, the cameraman can't run in the mud? Well, he's gonna have to because it's inside Monster Jam.
With nearly 50 monster trucks competing at one venue, press from around the world couldn't be that far behind.
Let's talk about U.S. Truck Fest. This has to be, without a doubt, the biggest event that we've ever seen.
Most awesome event I've ever been to. The most trucks, some of the fastest trucks on the planet are here. It's just unbelievable is what it is.
I pulled in here the other night and it brought a tear to my eye to be here. I'm so proud to be here.
With all the monsters at Truck Fest, USHRA officials decided to divide the racing into two series. The Monster Truck Challenge, featuring the up-and-coming drivers, and the IMJ Championship, where the top 10 trucks in the world fought for the title. We'll show you that next week.
We're splitting it up on IMJ. One whole show for you guys, and then one whole show for the superstars. And I don't have to mention them because they're not in this show.
Yeah, well, we know who they are, but we're upcoming.
All those other guys, they're not racing for money. They get show money. This is purse money.
Yeah, this is pretty important to everybody. Yeah, we're running for the money, so there's no friends here. Everybody's out to win.
Now, the 400-foot drag-style straight-line track was a perfect opportunity to open up the throttle, drilling over 1,000 horsepower. These beasts reach speeds in excess of 55 miles an hour, causing a lot of chatter in the pits.
That's different is what that is.
We've never been on a track this big, but we're going to give her heck.
We got a bigger track out there, a little gearing change for you?
Oh, definitely a big gear change. It's, the way I understand, it's over 400 foot long, and we haven't really done tracks over 300 foot.
In qualifying for the big show, Jack Favina and his two-wheel drive Cyborg turned heads with a very respectable time of 11.04, placing him 5th on the grid, although the body would need a bit of work by the time he gets it back into the pit. Now, securing 4th place on the grid with a 10.74 second run, Scott Hartsock and Gunslinger. 3rd was Scott Stevens and King Crunch at 10.49. As the track began to get broken in, qualifying times began to improve. Jeff Cook in the War Wagon coming in with a 2nd place run of 10.22. And topping the grid was the King of South Jersey, Bob Fisher and Liquidator. The 10-year veteran placed the 94 Ford on top with a 10.11 second run. A quick look at our 1-900 Pro Race Top 10 qualifiers. Liquidator on top, followed by War Wagon, King Crunch, Gunslinger, and Cyborg. 6th was Chuck Jordan and Survivor, with Blown Thunder, Reptoid, Black Stallion, and Ground Pounder, rounding out the top 10. Coming up later in the show, we'll have the main event of the first ever Monster Truck Challenge from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
What do you think of the Truck Fest? This place is going to be packed. It's pretty huge here.
Yeah, this is the first one, of course, but I think in the future this is going to be the spot. This is going to be pretty much the Super Bowl of monster truck competition.
I think you're right because they got everything.
IMJ cameras are always rolling, and here's an up-and-coming Maverick winning 1st place in the parking lot luge competition, and he's off to find a competitor. Bye, buddy.
Rollover competition.
Just when you thought it was safe to watch Inside Monster Jam, we bring you the Rollover Contest, the ultimate in car-smashing, roof-crushing, driver-jarring excitement. This is where Daredevil drivers earn points for rolling their vehicles more times than the competition. 43,915 frenzied fans couldn't keep this driver from chickening out. Balk, balk, balk. The winner of this craziness, Herschel Cronin, was the man who romped over the competition with a contest-high 80 points. Hey, Herschel, go get some aspirin, and we'll see you next time.
There's a lot of things I do, but that rollover contest, in no way would I ever sign up for that program. Let's have an IMJ flashback.
Monster moment.
Pulled from deep within our IMJ vaults, it's another monster moment. Now, they say everything is done big in the Lone Star State, and the world record monster truck jump-off contest on November 19th, 1994 was no exception. With action more spectacular than a Texas shootout, these trucks blasted through the air at distances well in excess of 70 feet, minus a few spare parts. But it was the legendary Bigfoot who turned the Astrodome into the Johnson Space Center when Dan Runte launched his Ford a record 109 feet 4 inches. That's a 572 Ford Hemi engine propelling 10,000 pounds of metal, fiberglass, and fuel 109 feet 4 inches. Bigfoot's record would last until 1996, when Fred Schaefer and Barefoot set the new mark at 119.2 feet, also inside the Astrodome.
Pro Stocks.
Pulling over 40,000 pounds on a 300-foot track, the Pro Stock tractor class roared in front of 54,300 psyched-up Tampa, Florida fans. The Elvis of speed pulling, Carl Schuler, slid the Super Moose into third place with a smooth time of 6.22 seconds.
Okay, the legend of John Deere lives on here in the parking lot. Tell me about it.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'd rather my sons did. Here's the #1 son over here.
We'll drag him right in because we do whatever we want. We just pull people right in. How's it going? Good. All right, get in the middle. We'll have a group hug. Group hug for the camera.
Like this, my #1 son.
Tell me a story.
I do it for her. I do it for my dad. It's a family thing all the way.
It's a family thing.
More things than learning than anything. I mean, we do it also for little kids. We get them up on there, let them sit on there. Just really inspiring.
You don't look like you're having enough fun though.
Oh, we've had fun. Let me tell you.
You're a world traveler. John Deere around the world.
John Deere, that's it.
All right, thanks a lot.
Need this here.
Okay, take it.
Oh, looky here.
Get it good?
Oh, it was shining
Did
nice.
any come off?
Oh, look at that nice Florida sun. Nice tan on
Thanks, can you
there.
do my butt now?
Back inside Houlihan Stadium, Jim Overmeyer clocked the Sand Hill Binder at 5.91 seconds. That wasn't good enough for the win, though, because Paul Wolf and Shotgun Red were just able to edge it out with a 5.90 on the final pass. Here's more of Jerry doing whatever he wants. All in good fun, of course.
What have you? Like to have the sons?
I just thought you needed a big old kiss.
Oh, thank you.
Rumor has it you're interviewing yourself.
I don't know that.
Well, see, when you interview yourself, you have to hold it a little closer.
Oh, okay.
Now interview
Okay,
me.
sweetie.
My name's Jerry. I'm with ESPN2.
Oh, okay.
How you doing?
Jerry,
What's your
hello.
name?
I'm Marilyn Schuler.
See, we'll go like this.
Okay.
And then you go, and Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
See, it's teamwork.
Thank you.
Are you a driver of one of these?
A long time ago, it was regular farm stock. John Deere A's,
Yeah.
John Deere B's. Yeah,
Dueling
local
mics.
farmer's daughter.
Let's hold them up like
it's
trophies.
this. Okay, trophies. Yaha.
Every week on Inside Monster Jam, we profile one of the drivers. Everybody wants to know about this guy, probably the #1 monster truck driver in the world, Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. You guys like Gravedigger?
Yeah!
That's it. Let's check him out. The guy goes crazy. Yeah!
A closer look.
Dennis, can you give me the specifics on the truck? What it is, how fast it is, big motor, you know, the dirt.
You're right, man. It's a 1950 Chevy panel truck. We run all fiberglass bodies. I'm a Chevy man. Everything I own has got Chevy motors in it, and 95% of my stuff has got big block, meaning a big 454 or whatever. We run 540 cubic inch motors. They're blown fuel injected on alcohol. They develop anywhere from 1,300 to 1,400 horsepower. And, we run the big aluminum heads and the superchargers and injecters.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
It's all the good stuff.
Yeah.
We've got quick change, aluminum, custom-built transfer cases. There are gearboxes. There is a lot of technology. It looks like we're playing and having a good time, but you can still work and have a good time, too.
Modified off-road buggies.
Smiles were everywhere inside the Pontiac Silverdome for modified off-road buggy racing. On the opening lap, number 163, Jim Candell got tapped and ended up going wide. He came back and did a little bumper car action himself, then avoided the 7-buggy bottleneck. Caught in that pileup was race favorite number 6, Corey Withrell. Known for his hard-charging style, he did whatever it took to move back out front, but could manage only third place in the race. Out front, Candell smoothly maneuvered around the track and avoided any of the race carnage to finish a full 3 seconds ahead of Steve Sallenbach for the win.
What's your favorite move? Stunts, Super Mac, of course the famed Knack Knack.
Well, yeah,
favorite
that's the one I can do the best. So that's kind of the favorite one I got, the Knack Knack.
Tell me this though, the Knack Knack, when you really get it, I mean, completely twisted all the way around. That is sick.
Yeah, that's when you know it's good, when you twist it all the way around like that.
You go up over the jump, you get way up in the air, you take both your feet off the pegs, and you pick a side, and you put both feet over the seat and point them straight out while you're like 40 feet in the air.
Yep, exactly. Last weekend after Kevin won his race, we took a parade lap, and we did one side by side. He did a hill clicker, and I did no foot of can-can, so that was pretty cool.
Wanted one thing that I could do, like McGrath was doing the Knack Knack and still is, you know, so I started doing it, and basically just hit the jump and kind of jump up once you're in the air, you know, just jump off the pegs. It's kind of hard to explain and hard to do, you know, just kind of...
And just click your heels.
Yeah, just practice and start clicking your heels.
Hey, you know, these motorcycle racers get a lot of air and follow us monster trucks. IMJ, we catch a lot of air too.
See this right here, ready? Go close up. Check out for this show, Inside
Monster Jam.
Check it out. Let me do my thing now.
Check it out.
Now more racing on IMJ. Jeremy McGrath, 4-time champ, #1 plate.
Monster Trucks.
John Vincent's base jump from the Superdome rafters kicked off Monster Jam Cajun style. In front of 52,764 Monster Maniacs, 12 trucks battled on the dirtless roundy round course. In round 1 action, Chris Roy's high anxiety was the first casualty of the night when he flew out his rear suspension running against Bigfoot. Jackie Willman was behind the wheel of Taurus. He got the win but suffered the damage. He defeated Fred Shaver's Barefoot in this race, but in the process lost a wheel to knock him out of the running. Willman just had too much bounce coming off the crushed cars, which caused the front wheel to break off. Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher were clicking on all cylinders, first defeating John Seasock, who drove Pat Suma's Above and Beyond in round 1. Then the Crusher was able to squeak by Tony Farrell's Wild Thing to move into the semifinals against Barefoot, who advanced after Taurus's accident. Well, Crusher wasn't pretty, but he got the job done, and Gary Porter took his Carolina Crusher into the final round. It was Chevy versus Ford in the other semifinal showdown as Dan Runte had the legendary Bigfoot under control. He just edged the Ford past Brian Welch and the Monster Patrol. Well, Gary Porter is known as Mr. Consistency on the circuit, and he drove his Chevy nice and steady over the crushed cars in the finale. At the halfway mark, both were neck and neck in a race too close to call. But in the final drive to the finish, Porter couldn't hold on to the turn and spun out before the finish line. Dan Runte and the Big Blue Ford Bigfoot is your winner.
That was some great racing.
And now, I forgot the line.
All right. You know what time it is? Time for another edition Inside Monster Jam. Philadelphia, triple header. That means 3 full days of madness. Racing, monster trucks up first on the docket. Stick around. It is going to be really wacky.
It's really tough. I mean, there isn't a monster truck on the circuit with the United States Hot Rod Association. It's a slouch. You got to watch them all because they're all tough. They're all pretty competitive, but they're all good guys to race with. If you have a problem, everybody bails in. It's like one big happy family.
I'll tell you, all the guys are fantastic. We spend so much time with each other. We're more like a family than we are competition. Except when you put your helmet on, it's all racing. There's no friends then. But before the helmet goes on, after the helmet goes on, we'd help each other out to the very end.
In front of 13,000 friends and family, hometown hero Bob Fisher and his 1995 Ford Liquidator were ready to put on a show inside of Philadelphia's Core State Spectrum.
Philadelphia crowd is always real loud. I'm only 20 minutes away, so I like to run as hard as I can because it's like a hometown for me. I got a lot of friends, family, sponsors, and future sponsors possibly in the crowd, so I like to do the best I can.
Coming out for round number 1, it's Liquidator lining up against the Ford of Gary Bauer out of Vienna, Ohio, and Liquidator's got him across the finish line to move into the semifinal round. And Liquidator here is a truck possessed as he pushes the Ford to the limit and disposes of Mike Ditchke and Rambo to move into the finals. The capacity crowd's on his feet as Pablo Huffaker lines up the world-famous Gravedigger out of Dennis Anderson's stable, and Digger has no problem in knocking the American Guardian off the grid as he catches some major air from the crushed cars. In the semifinals, Digger still gets good air, but watch Nightmare 2. He goes slow to beat the Gravedigger to the finish line. Still, Gravedigger fans would not go home disappointed as Pablo Huffaker puts on a classic during Freestyle. With the Philly crowd behind him in the finals, Bob Fisher has no problems in the rematch against Nightmare 2, rocketing off the line to victory. And if the win for the home fans wasn't quite enough, the reverse wheelie's the exclamation point.
It was a lot of tough competition here tonight, and the track was real good. The ramps were a little bit funny, but we hooked up real good, and we came to victory.
Stadium Rough Trucks.
IMJ cameras had the Arco Arena covered during Stadium Rough Trucks competition. Cliff Thompson and his 1985 Toyota looked smooth until the whoop section, but it was four-year Rough Truck veteran Greg Hoseman and his Toyota SR5 in fine form as he glided toward the finish line with a winning time of 17:70.
You guys see that huge throng of people over there? They're all waiting to buy tickets to get into the Oklahoma City Monster Truck Show.
12,737 fans rocked the Fairgrounds Arena, but if you thought the only rocking would be in the stands, you probably never saw the Lowrider Custom Car Parade. 20 of Oklahoma's finest lean, mean riding machines were featured. You gotta love all that chrome and aluminum. Pablo Huffaker, driving Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, had enough of the low-slung four-wheel stuff as he made his presence felt right from the introductions. In the opening round action, he knocked Chuck Reynolds and the newly painted Mountain Legend off the grid. Former Gravedigger driver Ron Nelson and Busted Loose didn't have a chance against Tom Mintz and Monster Patrol. Mintz is always tough to beat on the roundy-round course, and he started the night off by discarding the Conroe, Texas native. Nelson made another chance inside the grid as he qualified for fast lap honors in a showdown with his former team. Nelson and Bustin' Loose accomplished the upset victory and a one-way ticket to his first final round of the year when the rear steering broke on the Digger truck. Huffaker ended up hitting the wall after the finish line with minimal damage to the Chevy.
It was a real great deal because I used to drive the Gravedigger, and every time I get up against him, I love to beat him, and I really enjoyed it, and I went after him hard.
Tom Mintz hammered the Monster Patrol Chevrolet into the final round after he came up with an impressive semifinal victory over Todd Frolick in the Barefoot Machine. On to the finals for the Monster Patrol, and as we get to the championship matchup, he catches some beautiful air on his way to the finish line for the victory over Bustin' Loose, who blew his power steering belt in the final run of the night.
Everything worked out my way, and we come in here and run hard, and fortunately we didn't have too much trouble.
Despite breaking his wing in an earlier race and a blown U-bolt in Freestyle, Mintz is still able to show his appreciation to the crowd with a creative variation of his famous wing walk. You gotta love it.
Could you sign some more autographs for the fans, please? Turn, smile for the camera. Go.
All right.
Pretty cool. Now let's look at all the great racing from day 2, the U.S. Truck Fest.
There wasn't any shortage of fans in the bleachers at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the main event of the USHRA Monster Truck Challenge. In early round action, top qualifier Bob Fisher and Liquidator defeated John Seasock's Sudden Impact.
I see we've freshly flossed the teeth on the Reptoid, ready to go. Good dental work.
Yes, exactly. Well, you never know when we might have to take a bite out of our competitor.
Jim Jack and Reptoid made a run to the finish line, but fell just short of Pat Suma and Thrasher. Locked, cocked, and ready to rock was Scott Hartsock and Gunslinger. He blew away Blown Thunder and advanced into the next round. Now, on the top of your screen is Scott Stevens and King Crush having some trouble before the Crush cars. That gave Georgia native Bennett Clark the come-from-behind victory. Jack Cavina and Cyborg created quite a stir in his USHRA debut in El Paso, Texas, when he reached the semifinal round. In Charlotte, he picked up right where he left off, qualifying 5th. He destroyed Toasaurus there. Chuck Jordan and Survivor had an early lead on Black Stallion, but Mike Botters comes from behind to pull out the victory. Then Black Stallion went on to defeat number 2 qualifier War Wagon to get into the semifinal round. Although the crowd rallied behind the underdog Cyborg, it wouldn't be enough as Brian Barthel and Little Tiger put an end to the good times with the win. He then disposed of Black Stallion in the semifinal round to advance to the championship and a shot at the big payday. In the other quarterfinal matchup, Thrasher looked to be on his way to victory when he had some problems with the crushed cars. Bob Fisher took advantage of the mistake and drilled it toward the finish line for a semifinal berth. Gunslinger, who had qualified 4th, then would come back. He rolled over Clydesdale to advance into the semifinals, and that's where he was going to have to face off against Jersey boy Bob Fisher and the Liquidator. Well, Liquidator showed off his dominating style that enabled him to sweep the 3 races in Philadelphia earlier this season. He crossed the line with the victory to set up the final showdown match between himself and Brian Barthel's Little Tiger. We'll have those highlights later in the show.
Hey, that's great. Day 1 race, and now we're going to go to the JAMA question of the week, where you, the fan, gets to ask the question he wants to know the answer to. Yeah, the guy walked right in front of the shot. See that? How'd you bust your hand?
I hit a pole.
You got to stay away from that type of activity.
Sometimes it's hard to get your job done when everyone wants to be in the show.
U.S. Truck Fest. Now we go to the JAMA question of the week, where you, the viewer, gets to ask the question he wants to know from your favorite driver. See? It's like a cue. Okay, that's it from day 1 of the race of the U.S. Truck Fest. Now it's time for the JAMA question of the week, where you, the viewer, or this guy right here, gets to ask the question he wants to hear about his favorite driver and his truck. Say bye. Told ya. Thanks.
JAMA question of the week.
Hi, I'm Terry Bubash, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. My JAMA question is, what kind of fuel do the monster trucks use?
A, methanol alcohol. B, regular unleaded. C, diesel.
Hi, I'm Sky Hartley, driver of the Snakebite Monster Truck. I have the answer to the JAMA question of the week. These trucks run on methanol alcohol. When we're wide open, we burn 1 gallon every 7 seconds. And that's an expensive weekend on the Monster Race.
Monster Trucks.
Not since the Centennial Olympic Games has the Georgia Dome exploded with the excitement seen at the U.S. Hot Rod Monster Jam. Favorite son Bennett Clark tried his best to keep the Clydesdale truck alongside Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger. Digger, though, is always dangerous on U-turn courses and easily buries the local favorite in round 1. Then he proceeds to reconfigure the track. Easy does it, Digger. Fred Schaefer's Barefoot worked its way through the grid by knocking off Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. He gained his ticket into the final by defeating Doug Cole's Blown Thunder, who looks more like blown opportunity in this attempt at jumping the crushed cars. On the other hand, Robert Parker never gives up a chance at pushing his Chevy to its mechanical limits. In the semifinal round versus Scott Hartsock and the Gunslinger, Digger comes from behind and launches over the finish line to the victory. Digger fans were out in force for this one, trying to inspire their hero as he heads into the final round. And it must have worked, because Digger just edges out Barefoot for the win.
Hello, I'm Eric Meager, driver for the Bigfoot team. More Inside Monster Jam from Nashville after this.
What is it again?
And now it's time for a monster moment.
And now it's time for a monster moment.
Look in the camera after you're done.
Again.
Hey, I'm hanging out in the stands with all my new buddies. You guys having fun? Yeah, this is cool. You know, there was a girl in Philadelphia. You know what she did? They let her shoot her out of a cannon into a big net. Can you believe it? Well, we want to see it. We're on Inside Monster Jam hanging out. It's the best, isn't it? Yeah!
Well, I'm probably going to do about 100 feet through the air at about 55 miles an hour, about 50 feet high. I started practicing about 10 years ago, and like I said, I landed about 45, 50 miles an hour. I'd have to know that my net is going to stay up when I crash into it. So that is why I'm out there. I set it up, I tear it down, I check everything, because it's my life. incredible, man. Get some great height. It was a nice landing. I smacked my nose on my knee, but I'm okay. It was fun. I loved it.
Oh, that was dynamite, man. I don't know how she did it, but she really landed good, huh, Dad? Wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
Talk about having fun. Let's get you up to speed with all the crazy stuff going on in Philly. Quad wars, insanity. Who's going to win? You know, the black and white thing. Bad guys, good guys. Check it out.
More IMJ Racing.
USHRA ArenaCross is world-renowned for its bar-to-bar action, and the Philly fans weren't disappointed. Number 222, Joe Coupwan of Old Bridge, New Jersey, passes fellow Suzuki-mounted racer Byron Janda of Virginia for the lead. Riding the 125, Janda is a bit more nimble around the corners as he rockets back into the top spot. In fact, both these racers constantly passed up the lead. Watch as Coupwan is forced high and wide, just averting a collision with Janda. Now, once again, it didn't end there as Coupwan uses the inside line, then cuts back down from the outside, squeezing past the Southerner. These two continued swapping spots, and then on the last lap, Coupwan gets a little too heavy on the brakes, forcing Janda to stall out. Coupwan takes the checkered flag, followed by number 54, Walter Procanon of Woodside, New York, and number 43, Chris Prenderville of Freehold, New Jersey. Team Philadelphia in white showed Team South where to put that Southern hospitality as the Outlaw Quad War Series kept the sellout crowd of 13,600 on their feet. A Team South lapped rider caused a scary moment for the race leaders as Noah Johnson locked wheels with team captain number 18 P.J. Hall heading through the Spectrum's tight corner. Now, Hall would get back in gear and on the final lap catch Auburn, Alabama native number 14 Mike Studden. As the checkered flag quickly approached, these two laid it on the line. They touched tires numerous times, and right before the finish, Studden made one last attempt to seize the momentum of Hall. In a true battle of endurance and willpower to cross the finish line, Hall is able to propel his quad across the white line first, giving Team North the victory. After 4 rounds, the North finally gets on the board in the Outlaw Quad War Series.
All right, we got 100 tickets, 100 students. We go every year. It's the best thing about Haverford College. Haverford students are the best college students. Monster, monster, monster!
Hey, look, it's the Wall of Fame at the Nashville Arena. Tom, Dennis, what are you guys doing over here? What do you think you guys are doing?
You guys start.
If at first you don't succeed, try again and again and again.
Yeah. Who are you signing yours next to?
Oh, I signed mine next to Alan Jackson.
What about you, Dennis?
I just signed mine right by my name.
Good.
I can't read that. Who's that?
Let's start ready. Here we go. And Adam?
Hey, I'm here at the Wall of Fame in the Nashville Arena. And, hey, Tom, Dennis, what are you guys doing over here?
Oh, we're signing the Wall of Fame. I signed next to Alan Jackson.
What about you, Dennis?
Yeah, now whoever this is supposed to be. All right.
Hey, I'm standing next to the Wall of Fame here in the Nashville Arena. Tom, Dennis, what are you guys doing over here?
Oh, I'm signing the wall next to Alan Jackson.
What about you, Dennis?
Yeah, I'm getting next to Leanne Rhymes here.
There's always competition between the two, isn't there?
Yeah, it is. We were just kind of racing.
Yeah, I'm on right on top of his name, and he ain't looking.
All right.
Inside the new Nashville Arena, Digger and Monster Patrol faced each other in the opening round. For Dennis Anderson, it was a short night as Tom Mintz sent him packing in a close race. Then, Mr. Consistent Gary Porter defeated Eric Meager and Bigfoot. But the world-famous Ford stayed in the grid as fast loser. That made Bobby Cox the Clown pretty happy. On his way to the win against Alan Pizzo and Predator, Meager got Bigfoot up on 2 wheels, but was able to get it back in control and advance to the finals. Now, Mintz continues to run smoothly, beating Carolina Crusher to set up a Chevy Ford final round showdown. The Ford was pumped up on its way to the finish line, but on the last turn, it went up on 2 wheels again. This time, though, Meager cannot save the truck. It gives Monster Patrol the win.
It was the finals. It was time to go. It was all or nothing, and that's the way we play. We play hard. Big choice for the big boys. The big blue Ford came out, went on its lid. I think structurally everything's okay. We'll be back to race again, but just good to show how hard we are and how determined we are to take us and our sponsors to the top. We definitely wanted first. We were going out. We're being aggressive, and that's what you have to be. You have to be aggressive out here, and we're out here for our fans here as well, and there's a lot of Ford-Chevy conflict going on. That's exactly what you saw, Ford versus Chevy, and we'll get them next time. We'll doctor it up and be back.
The trucks really seem to be working together, you know, all different kinds of tracks. It's working well. You know, other than when we have a problem, we seem to be real competitive.
ArenaCross.
Rhode Island may be the smallest state in the Union, but when it comes to ArenaCross, the action is always big. Number 16, Tiger Watkins of Washington, D.C. Number 2, Joe Cowman of Englishtown, New Jersey. And number 43, hometown favorite Chris Peterbilt. We're all locked in a tight three-way fight for the lead. Spurred on by friends and family, the Providence crowd threw its weight behind Peterbilt, who holds off the hard-charging Cowman and Watkins at the checkered flag for the victory.
You know where to get all the best information on monster trucks? Inside Monster Jam. Number 1. Let's have a look at the second day in Philadelphia at the Philly Spectrum. Madness, I'm telling you, buddy.
After a disappointing day 1, Pablo Huffaker and the Gravedigger were out for revenge inside a sold-out Core State Spectrum. In the far lane, Digger had the pedal down fast, which is all that's needed on the straight line course. He knocks off the 96 Chevy American Guardian to move into the semifinals against Nightmare 2. Digger proceeds to put Nightmare to bed and earns a spot in the final round. Bob Fisher picked up right where he left off on day number 1. He shoots down Rambo in the semifinals. Then I don't know if it was the hometown crowd or a home-cooked meal, but Liquidator absolutely demolishes the Gravedigger in the Monster Truck Finals. And for the second straight day, the Rocky Balboa of Monster Truck Racing put on quite a show during Freestyle.
Probably the main reason why this guy's here is because he's going to ride the gunslinger tomorrow. Drive, ride. Wait a second. We'll start again.
Fly.
Ride, fly.
Fly.
Pop a wheelie.
And now it's time for some freestyling.
Freestyle, it's a whole different technique. You get to go out there and do whatever you want to. If you want to run over banners, you want to run over the cars backwards, you want to jump hills, you want to get out there and just get crazy, hey, that's my time.
Sounds like just showing off, you know, for 60,000 people.
That's right. It's called freestyle, and that's exactly what it is, showing off in front of your hometown people, going out here having a good time, backing up Mega Power with their products, and just, you know, letting it all hang out.
Let's talk about the motor. What do we got behind us?
What we got here is it's a Ford 557 cubic inch SVO motor. That's the Ford Special Vehicle Operations block cylinder heads, custom sheet metal intake, 871 BDS blower, Enderley fuel injection, right at 1,500 horsepower.
Sounds like you're bench racing now.
Yeah.
I got this. I got power.
Mega power.
How much is the gunslinger worth?
We're looking at, you're sitting at about $90,000 worth of machinery.
90 grand.
90 grand.
Tires are about 2 grand a piece.
Exactly. Rims are right at 500.
Motor's about 50.
Motor's about 50.
You know what I like what you said though? If it wasn't fun, I'd stay home.
That's right. That's right. You gotta be here for the fans. As much as we are here racing, having a good time, these fans are what it's all about. I mean, look, this place is going to be packed. In a matter of minutes, we're going to be mobbed with people, and they're going to think you're a gunslinger.
Always a probing question. Get right to the meat with it. Did you get those boots?
Hey, we ran them over with gunslinger.
Outlaw Quad Wars.
With only 1 win in 4 attempts, Team North in white needs a big victory in front of 58,000 rabid Silverdome fans. North co-captain number 4 Randy Dinkins is on the receiving end of a questionable bump and grind maneuver by Team South's co-captain Hank DeHart. But on the final lap, Dinkins gets revenge by running DeHart wide and off of the quad. It could have been ruled a foul, but as the official said afterwards, if you're going to dish it out, you better be ready to take it, because there are no rules in the Outlaw Quad War Series. With the win, Team North is closing the gap on the South.
Showdown.
Inside the Fairgrounds Arena, a record-breaking crowd came out for the final night of monster truck racing. But the first order of business for the drivers was the autograph session, where fans had the opportunity to get up close to the stars of monster truck racing.
I'd say in one weekend, sometimes you sign as many as probably 7-8 hours worth. We enjoy visiting with them, and I think they really get a good time out of it, too.
If it weren't for the fans, we wouldn't run the trucks the way we do, and actually we wouldn't be doing what we're doing.
I don't understand it. I'm not signing autographs, but these guys are. So I guess I got to sign off and send it back to you.
We all know Adam doesn't have time for autographs. My only guess is that Adam had to race to his second job, camera grip. Pablo Huffaker came out doing what the digger does best. He was able to roll past Ron Nelson's Chevy in a rematch from night one competition. Then it's on to the semifinal round, and Gravedigger is able to get the job done as he disposes of Todd Frolick's barefoot. Tom Mintz continued to drive the Monster Patrol hard on the roundy round course. First, he was able to defeat Brian Barthel and the Little Tiger Machine. On to the next round, where Monster Patrol blew out the transmission, and that would hand the victory to Chuck Reynolds, who comes away a winner in the Mountain Legend.
I think I twisted the input shaft off in the transmission. It's been hanging in there real well for me, but I think it finally let go.
Mintz worked frantically trying to get the Chevy up and running for Freestyle. He even enlisted the help of his arch rival, Pablo Huffaker of Gravedigger.
Those guys were out here last night till 3 o'clock in the morning helping me get our stuff back together so we'd be ready to race again today. That's the neat thing about the monster truck racing. Everybody helps each other in the pits. You're not enemies till you get to the line. Even then, I wouldn't say you're enemies, but that's when we draw the lines, when we line up.
Despite all the effort, Mintz and Huffaker weren't able to get Monster Patrol fixed. Digger, on the other hand, worked just fine in the final round. He kicked aside the last-minute replacement for Mountain Legend, barefoot. Todd Frolick's Dodge had no chance of winning this one. He suffered front-end problems. Our 1/900 Pro Race winner that drove the sellout crowd into a frenzy with one of the best freestyles of the year.
I enjoy doing the freestyle. Very seldom we really get to sit in these trucks and drive them a whole lot, so freestyle is kind of our reward for a whole week's work of working on them. We get to go out there and really thrash on the trucks and spend a little time in the seat doing what we want to do to have fun.
Okay, that's a wrap from Oklahoma.
Now it's time for a monster moment.
Monster Moment.
This week's IMJ Monster Moment comes from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where Steve Kane and his King Kong monster truck sent chills down the spine of everybody that witnessed this crash.
When I come over that second set of cars, it got really squirrely on me, and it looked to me like I was going to hit for that wall, so I was trying to compensate for it when I was, before I hit the ground, turn the wheel a little bit. And I think I turned the wheel just a little bit too much, and, when she hit the ground, that front end really hooked up. I don't know, I seen that sign coming up, and all I was trying to do was get it turned back over on its wheels, but nothing worked,
Fortunately, Steve Kane escaped harm. The only damage was to the police car stuck underneath the carnage.
Adam Murphy, who basically is a clean-cut kid himself, perfect dental work, gets down and dirty and takes a look at the dirt.
Thanks, Jerry. No matter where we go on the USHRA monster truck circuit, there's one thing that always affects driver performance. It's simply the dirt. The dirt. The dirt.
We come here to the El Paso Sun Bowl. We come and it's just the AstroTurf that the football team plays on. We bring in the product, which the product is big rubber sheets of plywood. We start trucking the dirt right after that, and we just keep trucking until it's done. It takes about 10 hours to put the base in and another 10 to build the track.
Just about how much dirt is used on average for a show?
Oh, man, Adam, this show in particular is roughly 2,700 tons, which is roughly 2,000 yards, probably about 150 truckloads.
So how do the different types of dirt affect each driver's performance?
It's a matter of how they hook up on the line, how the quads and cycles can make the turns. It's called like a good bite. With a good tacky substance in the track, they get better bite. And with a good bite, the trucks can actually launch off the line, and it makes for a good race.
Oh, it's pretty and very important, really. It's more like a sprint car or whatever. I mean, we can really hook on the clay when it's wet. We get all kinds of traction. They'll just tote the tires, but on this stuff, we'll probably just spin like crazy on the sand.
I like a track. It's got, more of a clay base where you can get a lot of traction and really come off the line hard and a wheelie and get over that first stack of cars. This one here would be a little more of a driving into it.
What about freestyle? What's probably the easiest surface to freestyle on?
Freestyle, just give us anything. We'll go at it.
Gravedigger, after the break, you're going down.
Outlaw Quad Wars.
You know the series is heating up when the U.S. military is on hand inside the TWA Dome in St. Louis. Off the Le Mans start, Team North captain P.J. Hall in white breaks out of the pack first as he grabs the lead. Now, out front is exactly where he knew he needed to be, trailing in the point standings 300 to 200. As he held on to the top spot, Hall maneuvered the quad wide and tried to run Team South captain Hank DeHart off the track. But on the final lap, DeHart made the power move past his rival and into the lead. He had some trouble on the last whoop leading into turn one. That opened a hole for Hall to pass. He held off DeHart for the checkered flag and the huge Team North victory. With a 3-race win streak, momentum has definitely swung the way of the North.
We're going to look at a little clip from Louisville, Kentucky. What went on down there for you?
Louisville, Kentucky, that was a bad place for me. I was, let's see, that wasn't the new truck. That was number 7. I blew a motor, made a couple rounds. Nothing really spectacular as far as I was concerned. And borrowed a motor from Tom Meeks with Monster Patrol. Made a couple of laps with his motor, broke his motor. I've done everything but cried out there, you know. But man,
Nobody wants to see Gravedigger crying, okay? It would really go against your reputation. Come on, can we cut that cutting room floor? No crying here.
Hey, everybody's got to cry, man. We're only human.
All right, Louisville, Kentucky. Let's look at it now. Ready?
What's that?
Huh?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Keep working. Keep it moving. Nothing to see here.
Monster trucks.
There was some horsing around inside Freedom Hall, but when the monster trucks came out on the fast roundy-round track, it was all business. Tom Mintz and Monster Patrol had some problems with the Chevy versus Tony Farrell and Wild Thing. Monster Patrol loses his rear springs off the Chevy. His night comes to a premature end. Now, in the semifinals, Wild Thing faced off against Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Digger seemed to have victory in hand, but he hits a jump a little too hard and blows an engine that was borrowed from Monster Patrol. The lesson? Don't lend your spare engine parts to the Digger. He runs them too hard. Wild Thing also had a bit of a problem in the semis. In the debut race for the all-new Wild Thing, he blows his body on the jump.
We were flying. Me and Dennis Anderson was racing, so of course we was all full aboard. I had some hellacious air. I come down, the body ended up falling down on the tire, flipping back over, landing on this tire, broken about 4 pieces and hit the ground.
Peeled off like an orange.
Brand new first weekend on it, so that was the end of the number 1 body.
So what do you do when you've lost the body of your truck and have to face Equalizer in the finals? Well, you race with half a body, of course. Wild Thing gets an IMJ A+ for determination. Dave Morris powers Equalizer off the line as he brings the Chevy to victory in Louisville.
That probably had to be my worst crash, seeing how it was a brand new truck and the body only lasted 1 weekend.
Hey, I'm sitting up in the... Hey, I'm sitting up in the stands with Tina Huffaker, Pablo's wife, Pablo, who drives the Gravedigger, like you couldn't tell. You look nice today.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to take a look at this footage. We always have great stunts at all these shows. This is a collection of some of the most awesome stunts we ever captured on tape. Are you ready to rock and roll? Mrs. Huffaker.
Yes.
Thank you. Big smile. Well, it's always big anyhow.
Thrill Seekers.
Inside the Houston Astrodome, 43,915 spectators witnessed the Thrill Show Spectacular, where all of the acts push the envelope. All the performers in the Thrill Show escaped uninjured, although some of the fans complained of chewed up fingernails and strained nerves by the end of the night.
The final showdown.
Fans of all ages came out to the final night of racing inside the Core State Spectrum. A ticket not only got you through the turnstiles and a seat by some of the best racing action in the USA, but an opportunity to get up close to some of your favorite drivers for pictures and even autographs.
I just like getting interviewed, getting autographs and stuff of famous people.
After pulling off 2 straight upset victories, Liquidator continued his Rocky Balboa-like underdog performance. in front of his hometown fans. He knocks out Nightmare 2 in the semifinal round to once again advance to the finals. Team Gravedigger's Pablo Huffaker finally had the Chevy dialed in as he sends the American Guardian packing in the semis. 13,600 spectators were wondering if Liquidator could pull off the weekend sweep. Well, Bob Fisher had no doubts about it as he guides the Liquidator to its third win in a row and second against the Gravedigger in a hometown blowout, making him the 1/900 pro race winner in Philadelphia's main event.
All guys are tough. Gravedigger, they're always real tough because they're always go for broke also. I mean, they'll run until they break the truck in half. So they're not going to take it easy on their equipment. So you have to do the same thing, and hopefully things come out on your way.
Jammer question of the week.
Hi, my name is Tavi, and my jammer question is, where did the first Gravedigger monster truck make its debut?
A, Nashville, Tennessee. B, West Lebanon, New York. C, Houston, Texas.
Hi, I'm Dennis Anderson. I've got the jammer answer of the week. This old truck right here was debuted in West Lebanon. I've got battle scars all over it. It was actually a 1951 Ford panel, but always ran that Chevy motor in it. And this is the old beast. I've still got it. It's back here in the graveyard with a bunch of other junk that I own.
Outlaw Quad Wars.
With the series tied at 300 apiece, Team North in black came into the sold-out Alamo Dome with a 3-race win streak, and Mike Kraus had the North thinking of 4 in a row after he took the early lead. But number 72, Greg Levotic, cranked it up on the extremely fast straightaway and made the pass. He held the lead until the final corner. Kraus tried to pull back out in front, but a Team South backmarker slowed him down just enough to give Levotic that extra edge to the finish. Team South is back out in front in the point standings, 400 to 300, and you know the racing will only get better as we come down to crunch time.
Stadium Rough Trucks.
A lot of wind and rain wasn't going to stop the Stadium Rough Trucks competition inside the LA Coliseum with over 22,000 fans braving the elements. Only 3 drivers, and this wasn't one of them, were able to advance to the final round. Team 911 in the open cab Bronco takes the win with a time of 14.76 seconds through the mud in LA.
Hello, I'm Eric Meager, one of the drivers for the Bigfoot team. The truck you see behind me is actually Bigfoot 15, which is the one that I've had since the day we put it together. In '94, we came out in the final round against Fred Schaefer, and we knew we were going to have to run hard and step up the program. And we actually stepped up the program so much that we tried to do a triple jump, and it just quite didn't work out. We caught the last jump just at the wrong timing, and I actually got into it, and when the Firestones touched down, all it did was pick up and ride a wheelie. The wheelie actually went so far back, I tore the tailgate and bed sides off, and through that process ended up hitting the wall, which I'm sure the Silverdome wasn't very happy about, but neither were we at that time. All of our fans in Pontiac, good Ford country, they knew we were out there going that extra mile for them.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Parachute Guy. Actually, the shootist went in solo when the scheduled monster truck balloon wasn't able to take off at the first ever U.S. Truck Fest. Even Charlotte Motor Speedway mascot Lugnut got caught up in the spirit of Truck Fest. Now on the top of your screen, it'll be Empty Pockets, drilling his sand drag across the line and finishing second overall with a time of 2.85 over third place finisher Arnold McIntyre. Darrell Galloway driving night shift was the winner. He nailed down the fastest time with a 2.672 run to take home the championship.
So like if I said to you, hey, I got this big pile of sand here, can you just move it over to there? You just one pass and it's done.
Well, yes, we can move some right quick.
But it's fun too. You having a good time with everybody?
Having a good time, yeah. The people we're here and work with are great.
Racing one of the most demanding tracks ever built for rough trucks, Mike Keith and the Mountaineer prototype had the straight line course figured out with a smooth qualifying win over Tom White and Twister. Despite riding the shocks hard, White managed a respectable fourth-place finish. Reagan Hermany of Kutztown, Pennsylvania blasted off the line in the final round, and he seemed to have left Keith in the dust. But the difficult track took its toll as the Mountaineer prototype came from behind to post a winning time of 14.8 seconds.
Hi, I'm Nina, and I want to see the final showdown at
The 300-foot pulling track, 125 feet of sand. That's what we have out here for the next 3 days, and there's going to be lots of carnage, I'm sure.
Look at this disaster zone. On Friday night, a huge thunderstorm wreaked havoc on the Charlotte Truck Fest. Manufacturer's Midway was nearly destroyed, the zone area lay in ruins, and there were only 2 choices: cry or rally the Truck Fest troops to work their USHRA magic. and the U.S. Hot Rod staff worked miracles to guarantee a great show. In the end, all the fans had a terrific time, and a lucky few got the chance to be a star.
Hi, I'm Nina, and I want to see the final showdown from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Final showdown.
As night fell over the world-famous Charlotte Motor Speedway, the fans who attended the first ever USHRA Monster Truck Challenge were aware of the historical importance of the race. Bob Fisher and Liquidator on the bottom of your screen faced off against Brian Barthel and Little Tiger for the lion's share of the $50,000 purse. Tiger had a difficult time with the second set of crushed cars, which opened the door for Liquidator to cruise on in for our 1/900 Pro Race win and to become the first ever USHRA Monster Truck Challenge champion.
Well, the Liquidator was running really good all weekend. You must be psyched. The lion's share of the purse, and that means some fat cake here at the U.S. Truck Fest.
Yeah, we had to run it hard, but we got the whole enchilada. So, like, show me the money, you know? We did real good. I want to thank my engine sponsor, which is Cunningham Competition in hometown, Harrisonville, New Jersey, which without him, I couldn't have did this. So it's thanks a million to him.
I bet you all the big guys like Digger and Monster Patrol, they're a little jealous. Yeah, they get paid to come here, but you guys get to really race for money. Can you say it right now? Show me the money with feeling?
Show me the money.
That's what you like to hear on the Liquidator scene. Hey, that's it from Show 1 here at the U.S. Truck Fest. You want more? We got more. Next week, Show 2, the top 10 trucks, the top 10 monster trucks in the world. I want to thank Humpy Wheeler. My man, we're up on the roof. Greatest seat in the house. This is Inside Monster Jam. I'm Jerry B. Oh, and your name is?
Bob Fisher with Liquidator.
Yeah. So you're going to take me out to breakfast or what?
Sure, why
You got
not?
the cake? It's
Yeah,
cool.
all right.
Come on. Okay, question.
Yes,
Did
sir.
you see the show?
Yes, sir, I
What
sure
do you
did.
think?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Is there any suggestions you can make for Inside Monster Jam? Of course, which I am the host.
Maybe if they get a new host.
Thank you. Okay, edit room floor. Cut it up.
Sorry, Tony. You stick to driving Wild Thing, and we'll keep Jerry. We'll see you next time on the Best of IMJ Volume 3.